Welcome to class today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from in the world. Happy Sunday to you all. My name is Genesis Amaha. By God's grace, I am your instructor for today. Today is the third day of our program in this sprint, MS Word, which is a 2-week program. You're joining us for the first time. Day one, we introduce you to MS Word, word processing, launching the application, the word interface, ribbon, tab, group, quick access toolbar, creating, saving, and opening of documents. They do customized ribbon, quick access toolbar, font style, size, and color, bold, italic, underline, paragraph alignment, left, center, right, justified. And we also introduce ourselves to line spacing. So today, which is day 3, we'll explore the page setup, margin, orientation, and size, adding headers and footers per work, page numbering for numbers, and section break. So this all we'll be learning for today. Please pay attention. If you have any question, feel free to ask me. Pause me at any time to ask. All right. So do not forget, we are still learning MS Word. We are still learning MS Word. So I'll open my Word and we'll start from there. Thank you. Okay. I believe we all know how to open and access our MS Word application. This is like a guide we are using, or I'm using to teach you now, the course outline. So I'll open a new document. I'll go to the file. From file, I say new. So there are 2 ways we can open a new document, either as blank document or templates. Templates are like pre-designed documents, right? That serve as a guide. Okay, so open a blank document. So this is a blank document. What do we have for today? Page setup, margin, orientation, and size. Why do we need to set up our page whenever we are working with MS Word? Why do we need to set up why do we need to know the size of our page and also set the margin? Like I said, setting of the margin depends on what you are working with. If the volume of your work is small, there's no point you expanding or reducing your margin. These are margins, right? So if you check here, the top margin is almost at 0, right? You can see there's no space here, and this will not give us a good work. It will not make our work look beautiful. So let me copy from here, and okay, let me just open a template and copy a template from there. Let's see. We have a beautiful template here. Okay. I have this CV here. Let me open this. I will create. Okay, I have this CV like this. This is a template that I'm using. If you check here, if our work is like this is not a CV, it's actually okay, this is a company newsletter, right? Okay, I have this letter like this. I need either enough space or I want to reduce space depending on what I want. If you check here, the margins are very small and tiny. And if you check up here, there is no margin at all. And this makes our work messy. You won't even know when you entered another page, right? Because there's no top and bottom margin. You can say this is a different page and this is a different page, this page 2, right? So how do we set up our page? For us to set up our page, we go to the page layout. Page layout, first thing first, we need to know the page size. or the paper size we are using. Because if I'm working with A4 here or A5, and the paper I want to print this work on or this material on is A4, definitely there'll be a problem. Because why? A5 is half of A4. You start having spaces where not necessary. And if the paper size I'm working on here is A4, or let me say I'm working with A3 here, which is 2 times A4, and I'm printing it on A4 paper, definitely the work will cut, right? So I need to know what my paper size. I come here to size from page layout. I come to size, navigate there, click on it. Then we have all paper size here. Here we have letter. Letter is just like A4, almost like A4, but it's a bit shorter and wider than A4. Then I have my A4 paper here. I have A3. A3 is 2 times of this. And A5 also. A5 is half of what? A4. So the commonest paper size that we print document on materials like this is what? A4 or later. So you can use later or A4 to print your work. A4 mostly is used by architects and people that are doing artistic work to print their work. But if you are printing maybe a letter, you want to print a letter to somebody, or you want to write a report, send a report to somebody, and you are printing it on A3, it will make sense. And if you're also printing it on A5, it will also make sense. Why? Because A5 mostly, sometimes, let me say, you used to print maybe, let me say like novels, or we use it to print something like invoices, right? So you must know the paper size. Always use word A4, except when specified. If there's a need for you to use A3, you should know, or somebody you are working with to tell you that, okay, I need the work to be done on what? A3 paper size. Are we together? So we use A4. This is A4 already here. Let me choose A5, and you see how this work will look like. If you check here, we have how many pages? 3 pages are open so far. Okay, oh, 2 pages, right? 2 pages are open so far, page 1 and page 2, right? Okay, so if I change this to A5, let's see what will happen. This A5, we now have total of how many pages? 6 pages. Why is this here? Let me close this. We have a total of what? 6 pages now. We have to pull it out. Okay, we have 6 pages open. Why? A5 is small. So let me also open this work as, let me change the paper size to A3, and let's see what will happen. This A3 is just 1 page that we have because A3 is very wide, large and big. So we return it to the normal paper size. It was on A4. Let me put it on later, and you see that there's no much difference between what later and A4. You can see it's still what 2 pages, and if I put it on A4, it's still the same thing. So if you check here, like I said, our work is messy because the margins are not well set. I can set my margin here. Let me put it to normal, or I can just say moderate. If you can see. And this is my work now. How many pages do I have here? 3 pages, right? Let me undo and say, okay, page margin, moderate. You see, it has entered 3 pages now, and this one has entered a very small page. But that's what I want to do. I want to set my page margin, and I don't want to set it here. Even if I don't want to set it here, I can use these lines here to set my page margin. Can you see? Either increase the page margin or reduce it. Remember, like what I said the other day, when we're in secondary school, primary school, or whenever we're writing exam, they will tell us, do not write on the margin. So this is like that space they ask us not to write on during WAEC. So here, you cannot write anything here. Why? Because this is your margin. If I set my top margin, you cannot also write anything there. And now my top margin is not showing. And when I try to use moderate margin here, it created a small page here for me. And I'm trying to avoid that. Why is this happening? That because this template, I don't really know what the template is doing, but I feel is the way they design the template, right? The way they design the template. But if I use something like this, let me just highlight from here up. Use it to create another document here. So you see, so I have it like this, and I want to add the margin. I return back to page margin, moderate margin. You can see the sizes here. I mean, the size of the margin here has increased a bit. So if I put it to wide, something like this, you see, it reduces the size of what our left and right margin, but our top margin is still a problem. How do I solve that problem? In case you run into such a problem, what do? Come to insert. When you come to insert word, header or footer. You insert a header. I insert the first one or anyone you want to insert. I insert it. It automatically creates this margin here for me, the top margin. But since I don't want to type anything here, like this type here, if I leave it here, this one will become like my header. But I don't want anything to be typed there. What do? I right click, I double click on it here, double click 1, 2, it will open like this. So I clear this off, right? So now I have what? My margin. I can reduce my margin or increase my margin. You can see. So if I'm designing a work and I want to print it on a letterheaded paper, I need to set my margin here so that when I print, the work will not print as overlay on the word, the letterheaded paper, right? So if I have a very beautiful design here, say something like this, your newsletter, I copy, then come here, have a beautiful design like this. I wouldn't want to print this work on top of this, your company newsletter, because if I print it on it, then there'll be a problem. That's why I need to do what? Set my margin, increase my margin, depending on the design of what? My letterhead. Do you understand? So I remove this, depending on the design of what my letterhead. But now I want to reduce the margin further. See what will happen. I'm trying to reduce it, but it's not reducing. Can you see? It's still very white here. How do I solve that? I double click on the header and try to reduce it from here. Reduce it from here. You can see it. I've reduced the header on its own. Then from there, I can further zero my margin. Then here, what is happening is that I use a very large font here. So if I come here, what's the font size here? Is font 39. So I can reduce this to font 11 and it will further reduce what the margin for me. Any question? Any question so far on the margin? Are we together? Hello?
Hello, sir. Yes, sir. We are together, sir. Good evening, sir.
All right, good evening. Okay. So let's assume that I have this work duplicated. Let me duplicate this very work and paste it here. Paste it. So I have enough, right? This about 7 pages of the work. Return back to, I go back to page layout, right? We have set the margin already. If I have plenty work like this and I don't want it to enter 7 pages, I want to reduce the spaces here so I can contain more work. What do? I need to reduce the margins so I can have more work entering my workspace. You can see I've reduced the margin and it has reduced to 6 pages here, right? To further do that, if I wanted to enter 5 pages and I don't want to reduce the margin the more, what do? I need to start looking at the line spacing, right? I need to start looking at the line spacing of my work. I highlight everything. If you check here, I have line spacing. I can reduce it. I can also reduce the before paragraph. You see, my work has entered 4 pages from 6 pages we had before. So you can also you can reduce the line spacing here, or you can reduce the line spacing in Home tab. Here it was, I can put it at 1.15 line spacing, 1.5. People that used to write projects in the university or colleges, most professors will tell you to use double line spacing, right? Why? Because they want it to be very clear and bold so they can see clearly. But on a norm, you use single line spacing or 1.15 line spacing when you're writing maybe essay, letters, or 1.5. Like I said, it depends on the volume of your work. If your work is plenty, you like to minimize, you may choose to minimize your work, your line spacing, so that you can have more content contained in fewer pages. When your work is small, what do? You increase the line spacing to spread the work across, right? So remember to page layout, we have columns here. This one is beautiful when you are designing things like maybe say Bible, right? I want my Bible, the way Bible is, it is partitioned into two. We have one column this side, another column this side. So this side works. I come here to columns. I have, it's currently on what? Column one or one column. If I say on two columns, this side will look like. And this is how Bible look like in real life. And most textbooks will also look like this. So we break it into two margins. If I want to break it into three margins, what do? I select, okay, three columns, I select three columns and it will break into three columns. So let me highlight it first. Don't forget, I say whatever you're doing, try to do highlight. So let me break it into three columns and we have it like this. These three columns. I can split it into one column whereby one side will be very small, the right hand or the left hand. So I split it like this so we can have it like this. So it depends on what you are working on. If you are designing a newspaper, for example, you might consider using this kind of word, column breaker, where you split it into what? Two columns, one side is very small, the other one is big, or you may decide to do what? Split it equally into two columns like this. Am I communicating? Are we together? Are we together?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Okay, that's our margin. So the next thing is orientation. And we'll add what? Headers, page numbers, and break, section break, right? So let's check our page orientation. This is page orientation, still under what? Page layout. What does page orientation do? Or why is it important to understand page orientation? If you are printing your work, it is either printed as what? Landscape or portrait. And there's a need for you to understand when you need to print your work as portrait and when you need to print it as what? Landscape. If you are designing a poster, you might consider, okay, let's say you are placing advert for an opening, just like they say teachers needed, a computer instructor needed, the full phone number, that's the contact, and maybe the address. It do not make sense, or it depends on you. But most likely people will use what? Landscape orientation. Or for instance, you go to a shop or a mall and see where people write the phone number, let me say the account number, account name, and food. Let's try it here and see. So I open a new document. Let's say this is my account number. I want to write my account number as this. Enter. Name is, okay. Name is Amaha Genesis Bank. Kuda Microfinance Bank, something like this. Sorry, Kuda MFB Microfinance Bank, right? So I have something like this. I want to paste it somewhere so that my customers can always pay money into this account number. So it will be pointless if I use portrait page orientation. This portrait has a vertical arrangement or alignment, while the landscape has horizontal alignment, right? So I have this. Let me reduce my workspace like this. Okay. So I will format it neatly and use area black here. Area black. So it will be very bold, right? So I increase my font size. You know how to increase font size already. So I have it like this. And this will not make sense because I see how space is here. And if I want to increase font size the more, it will start entering another line. And let me even convert it to capital letter. I have a capital letter like this. So it will make sense like this, right? Even if I decide to space it, to separate the name from the account number and account bank from the word name, you have it like this. This will not make sense to us, isn't it? Even if I decide to centralize it, decentralize, it will not also make sense. But let's assume that I'm designing a cover page for my project work. It will be very, very, let me say, I will use word portrait, because if I go and use landscape to design my cover page, which is this page layout, landscape. If I use landscape to design my project work, it will not make sense, except if it is what slide presentation, right? If I'm doing it, designing a presentation, then I can use landscape like, because everything on that presentation will be what landscape. So, but if I want to write something like this and paste for my client to pay money, it is always very important to use what something like, to use landscape page orientation. So this landscape, I can further increase my font size. You see, it's not affecting it. Can see, and it is very what bold. When I have something like this, I can easily paste it and my customer pay money into it. I can decide to give this one a different font, say Algerian. If I want to make it look beautiful, I use something like this and keep increasing my font size. Something like this. It's beautiful. Then here, I want the account number to be very bold for people to see. Now I'm making it very big. And also the bank name to also be very, very big. Because first thing that people consider the word which bank and the account number. Once they get the account number and the bank, the name will come out. So I can design something like this and paste it. It looks nice. So check this, compare this with the portrait orientation. This is portrait. Which one is better? This one is messy, right? I think the landscape is better. So you can design something like this, very simple. Okay. That's one orientation. What do we have next? Adding what? Headers and footer. We've added header, but let's add it again and see. So how my header here? Why is the header and footer important? Let's say header and footer, may I say it serves as a watermark. It serves as a watermark. For instance, if I'm writing a CV, right, and I'm submitting a CV in an organization, or let's say I wrote a test or exams, I printed it and I submitted. It had like 5 pages, 10 pages, the exam, right? And the pages are numbered. The only place I have to write my name is the first page of what? Of the answer booklet. The rest of the booklet, I will not write my name, right? But some people, you see some people writing their matric number or their ID so that it will make it unique. When the paper start pulling out and they collate it again, they will not carry my own paper and give to another person, or carry another person's paper and give to me. So to avoid that, in a printed document, what do? We can decide to use what? Header. So if this is my handout, I can just say, okay, let's assume that this is my resume. I can just say Genesis what? Or let's say Genesis updated what? Copy or CV. Then updated CV, something like this. I can leave it here or align it to the left, centralize it, anyhow I want to align it. So I have my CV like the Genesis word, updated CV. Genesis updated CV. I click outside. You can see it's painted, right? It's not as bold as this. So anybody picking this CV will know that, okay, this CV belongs to who? Genesis. If this is a CV, right? Anywhere I entered, even if it's 1,000 pages, it will always have this word, Genesis updated CV. The fourth page will also have it like this, right? I can also insert a footer if I want to. So then inside the footer, I come back to what? I think, let's say I come to insert what footer here. We are running out of time. Okay. So I come to what footer. If I want to insert header, I come to insert footer or header, depending on the new one I want to insert. So we have inserted what a header. Let's insert the footer also and see how it works. So this is my footer. So here I can just write anything. Let's say biology test. If it's a test, biology test. Okay. When I'm done writing, what do? I click outside the margin here. I click outside. So we have it like this. So my header is carrying what Genesis updated CV. Here is carrying biology test. So if you check down, all the pages will have the same thing. But my work is very plenty and I want to conserve my space. And this one is already taking unnecessary space. What do? I can delete this like this to reduce the margin or reduce the margin for me. Can you see where my cursor is? Here. My mouse. Can you see where my mouse is pointing, right? I click here and drag down so that this biology will come down and I'll have more content here. So with this, I can enter. If I want to still write another thing here, I can click continue writing down anything I want to write, right? The same thing, I want to insert page number. Page number is very, very important. It's very, very important. It allows to track our work. Maybe when you are studying, reading, you know where you've covered. Okay, I stop at page 5. Even if I'm telling somebody, okay, I can use it to give a reference. I say open page 5, page 6, or page whatever. So to insert page number, what do? We come to insert. From insert, we go to what? Header and footer was session. Do not forget, I told you the other day that we have these things are called tabs, from home tab, insert tab, up to developers tab here. And in each of the tab, we have ribbon group or panels. So these things are what called ribbon group. You can see the pages ribbon group, tables ribbon group, illustration, link, media, comment. Here we have what? Headers and footer word, ribbon group or panel, right? So anything that has to do with header, footer, or page numbering, we come here to what? Header and footer word, panel, or ribbon group. So I click on what? Page numbers. Do I want my page number to be at the top, the bottom? You can see bottom of page, top of page, page margin. That's by the side. If I want to put it on page margin, it will be by the side. Current position, it will take the current position where you are. And format page number, I can format my page number or remove what page number. So this time I want it to be at the word bottom. So on that bottom, where do I want it to be? Is it the left side, the center, or the right? Or I want it to be written like this. You see this one? This is more like custom. So if I insert something like this, I'll have my page number. So here I can decide to write another thing, right? We have page number 1 here. So here I can decide to write like Erumento or anything I want to write. I'll write here, depending on what I want. I write Erumento, or even if it is biology, or if it's a topic, let's say reproduction, I can write reproduction. So you know that, okay, this is number 1 and this word reproduction. Once you pick it, you have it like this. All the pages will have this reproduction and we'll have the page numbers, right? So we have, can see page 2 reproduction, page 3 reproduction. So that's how you have it across all the pages. Any question? Are we following?
Yes, but I'm getting lost already with this explanation. I'm still hoping maybe I will go through it better on the video.
No.
Because
No, just ask your question now. We'll answer it. I will help you. That's why I'm here.
from where we get that how we insert those pages, the layout pages. Let me say because what made me get lost is because I wanted to practice from my own system. So on my process of trying to practice this here, before looking at my phone screen, you have already gone ahead of me. So
Okay. That's
Find it
fine.
difficult to follow. I'm just looking at.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. For you to insert page number, I take it again. You go to insert. Anything insert. What is insert? To bring in something. So when to bring in what? Page number. Where do we go to? We go to insert tab. On insert tab, we navigate to header and footer word, ribbon group, or panel. So this header and footer, under header and footer, we have header here, which we have inserted as what? Genesis updated CV. If we are to insert footer again, remember I inserted footer the other time and name it what? Maybe biology or so. So this page number, I click on page number, and do not forget, I said the other day that if we have something, this drop down, it indicates that we have many things that are supposed to be under here, but are not being displayed here because of the space constraint. So I click on what? Pages. I said you can number your page at the top of the page, or you give the number at the bottom of the page, which is what? Bottom of page, or what? Page margin, which will be on the word margin here, left or right. You can see on page margin, we can have it like this. So if I number it by the side, this is where you have your number. You can see it here, page 1, right?
Yeah,
You can see page 2 here, and that's how you'll be having it, right? And remember the other time we inserted the margin, sorry, we inserted our number at the bottom. So I will undo. So we have, I want to insert the page number at where? The bottom here, and I want it, sorry, this is bottom position, and I want it like this. So under this, I want to type something here. I don't want to just number it like that. Okay, after the number, I want to write something else. So here I can decide to say Eromentos copy. It will serve as my watermark, don't forget. Eromentos copy. Eromentos copy, right? So I can decide to bold this. If I want to bold it, just normal bolding. I click on this B to bold it. I can also decide to give it a color. Say color red, any color of my choice. Purple used to be my favorite color when I was still young. So I can use blue. All right, let's go with this. And when I'm done, what do? I click outside. But if you see now, we have extra spaces here, which are not really necessary because if our work is voluminous, we would like to conserve our space. For me to avoid that, what do? I delete the extra space. And I can also reduce it from here. You can see where my mouse is here. I drag down like this. So I click outside. I have my page number, right? If I come down, I have page 2, which is what? Erumento. You can see it because I reduce it very well. It is down here. But it will make sense. For me to edit it, what do? I double click inside there. You can see it here. I double click inside there. Here, what do? If I double click inside, you can see it here very small. I increase the margin a bit. Or here, the footer is footer actually a bit, and click outside. So I have Erumentos copy, that page 2. 3, Erumentos copy. That's how we'll be having it across. So we have just 2 minutes left for the Zoom to end. Don't forget, when it ends, we'll reconnect back. Do you have any questions? So let us save this work we've done. Let us save this work we have done here, like this. So how do we save it? Again, for those that are joining us for the first time, you come to Word File. For here, we have custom the quick access toolbar to have this. If you were not there in the first and second day class, you will try to watch the recorded video. So come to File, from File, come to Save. If we are saving it for the first time, Save As. I come to Save As, click on Save As. If you check here, we have OneDrive personal, right? Computer. This OneDrive is a cloud storage. So if I want to save to the cloud, this way I will click. But if I click here, it will require me to do what? Sign into my OneDrive, right? I can sign in if I have account already, or I create a new account. But I want to save it on premise, that's on my local computer. I click on what? Computer. On that computer, where do I want to save it? I want to save it to the desktop. I click on desktop. It's open like this, right? So I want to save it to the desktop. Here, I gave my document a file name. You can see file name here. What is the name of this my document? I will name it what? Practice. Practice. right? Here is saying save as type. What is the document save as type? How do I want to save this, my document? Do I want to save it as PDF or Word document format? If I save it as PDF, PDF stands for what? Portable file format. It means I cannot edit the document again, right? But since I'm still working on this document, this is not a final copy. What do? I save it as Word document. If you click here or this arrow, it will open other type that you can save the document as. You can see here, this was 1997 to 2003 templates. You can save it as macro enabled templates. You can save it as Word template, 1997 to 2003 documents, Word macro enabled document, and all of that. Save it as Word 2003 XML documents, PDF. But the common one we save our Word as PDF, or we leave it as Word document, right? So any document that is saved as Word document will have dot doc, that's dot, right? So we leave it like this. That will be the file extension, dot doc. Then if it is PDF, it will have what? Dot PDF, right? So I save my document. Don't forget, I know where my document will be saved, right? Here is what Dell. Desktop is the folder, which is like my bucket where I want to save the work, desktop. And the name of the work is what? Practice. And now the word save. It will save and return. If you check here, before now, it was showing like this document, like this document 2. Before now, it was showing document 1. But because I've saved the document, the file name will automatically what? Override that document, which is the default. If you have not saved the work before, it will have either document 1, document 3, depending on how many pages you have opened so far. But once you save it, the name of the file will override that default document that was here. And here it is showing Word. So it's telling us that this work is currently, we are currently working on what? Word. We are creating a document using Word. Okay. So let's continue. We have saved our document already. What next? Okay. Page break. How does page break work? Let's say I'm currently here and I want this to enter another page, this very section where I am. I click here. Once I click there, I come back to page layout here. On page layout, I click on page break. There's a drop down, don't forget. And I say what? Mark the point at which one page ends and the next page begins, right? Column indicate the text following the column. Break will begin in the next column, right? Let's break it here. You can see from this place, it moved to the next page. So this one ends and the other half of it moves. It's not very, very important because you can do that using what? Enter. Okay, so let's break it. Let's use the column break. You can see it will break here and enter because that's the column word break. We also have other words break. It will enter another page and all of that. So that's one word, page break. Do you have any question so far before we continue? Any question? We'll come back and explore this when we are dealing with what? Illustrations. We'll come back and explore this site later when we are dealing with what? Illustrations. But let us enter what? Design. Design of pages. This one, I like this very well because we use it to design our work and make it look beautiful, isn't it? So here I have this beautiful document like this. We'll create a CB one of these days. We'll create a CB one of these days. I have this beautiful document like this, right? So I want to design a document. How do I design it? If I want to choose colors here, the themes or the document, I can choose any theme here. I can choose the title of my work. And people that were in the last class, do not forget, I told you if we want to number or if we want to create table of contents, we must title our work appropriately. Use the normal heading, the normal subtitle, and all of that. So now I can, if this is the title of my document, I can name it what? Title. or I use this. You see it's changing, right? But let me use this already. So if I use this, anytime I want to insert table of content, it automatically will identify it as what heading 1. Identify it as heading 1. Then if I have this as heading 2 under this heading 1, you see, that's how we can set it, or heading 1 here. But that's not what I want to show us here. What I want to show us is watermark, page color, and page borders, right? Let's say I have a handout that I've prepared already. I have a handout that I've prepared, and I want to prepare a cover page for my handout. I want to prepare a cover page for my work. Well, I want to give my work a watermark so that it will be unique. If you've written Jam before, or you've handled some documents that are confidential, you see they will write the confidential on the document. But whatever watermark they use will not overshadow the content of the document, or the write-up, or the text, or the format of the word document. So it won't overshadow it. We'll use a watermark worksheet in such that you still write something and it will still be clear. Okay, so to do that, we use design. So this will work first. Let's start with watermark. I design watermark. You can see here, this was confidential. I put it. This is a default word, watermark. Can you see it? Across all pages, you have a confidential everywhere. Okay. And if I want to choose another watermark, I can use, that was diagonal, right? I can use a vertical one like this. So I have it here, confidential. Anywhere you go, you'll see it there. I can also use do not copy. You see some document, they will tell you do not copy. It will be like this. So away from that, I can custom my watermark to what I want. I don't want to use this default do not copy and confidential. I want to custom the watermark with my name. So I go to what? Custom watermark here. I click on custom watermark and allow it to open. It's still loading. Your system has been faster than mine, but for now it's still loading. Okay, just take note of a few things here. Just take note of 2 things here. What do you see at the top here? It's telling you what? No watermark. Peradventure, you inserted a watermark like this one, and you don't know how to go about it. How do I remove my watermark? Oh, I've inserted a watermark already, and I don't want it any longer. What do? I click on no watermark and apply. You can see there's no watermark again, right? I come back. I want to custom my watermark, custom watermark. Then it's still on what? No watermark. This time around, I want to use picture watermark. Instead of using a text, I want to use my logo, the company logo, to serve as my word watermark, right? So here is the skill. What's the skill I want to use? Most time we leave it at what? Auto. But like I said, always say, it depends on what you want to design, your design. If I'm designing a payslip, for instance, and I want a very small watermark to show there as my logo, right? My logo to show as a watermark, very small. I can decide to use 100 or even 50%, right? But let's leave it as auto for now. So I have picture watermark selected. And how will the picture just appear? After selecting picture watermark, what do? I click on what? Select picture here. Once I click on it, it will open a window like this. What's it telling us? Sorry, we are having some temporary service issue. You can work offline if you plan to insert picture from your computer. Yes, I want to work offline. I click on what? Work offline. I would like to open. So it will open like this. I know where my pictures are located or where my logo is. That's why I told you the other time, you must always know where you store your documents and files, right? So I click on desktop, that's where my logo is. On desktop, where is it? IG. Under IG is Igbank. Under Igbank is Genoptech. Then from Genoptech here, I have my logo. If the logo is not here, I will navigate to another place. I think it's not on Igbank, it's on some business here, not Genoptech. So this is my logo. This is my business logo, and this is what? Genoptech logo. So let me use my business logo here. I click on my business logo and I click on what? Insert. It has been inserted, right? So take note of this. This is wash and what? This is wash out. If I click on wash out, it will make the logo to be fainted. But let me not mark it as wash out first. And let us apply and see how it will be. So this is my watermark inserted beautifully well. You can see. Do you think we should leave the watermark like this? And what do you observe here? The watermark is so bold, it's big, it covers our page well. And do not forget that I left it as what? Auto. Are we following? So the general store, the watermark is very bold. I don't want it to be very bold. Why? Because it might overshadow my work and make it to be not eye friendly, right? So if you check here, we have Microsoft. You can see here, it is used. It is very difficult for you to read this. It is used. Why? Because the watermark is too bold. It's overshadowing my work. You get? So to avoid that, what do? I come back to custom watermark and I say wash it out. Wash my watermark out. And you can see that it was painted inside. My watermark is still there, but it cannot interfere with my work. But you can still see that there is a watermark inside. So that's why you should always do what? Wash your watermark so that it will not overshadow the content of your document, your design, or any other thing you can think of. Right? So I come back, I say, oh, the watermark is too big, right? I want to reduce it. This is auto, it's on auto. So I can reduce it to 50%. Let's apply it and see. 50%. Can you see that it's very small here? Very tiny. Let me close and you see this 50%, very tiny. If you don't take care, you will not even see it. So if I leave it 50% like this, I might decide to make it what? Not to wash it out so that it will be bold. Somebody can see that, oh, there's a watermark here. You can see it bold now. Right? But I wouldn't like this kind of watermark. It doesn't make sense to me. Again, like I always say, it depends on your design, what you want. I custom it. Instead of 50%, let me make it 150%, and I wash it out and I apply. So I have my watermark like this. This is better. Everywhere you go, you see the watermark. This shows that, okay, this work is what? This document belongs to Genob store. So nobody will come and claim the right of this document, because if you come, the document always have what? A watermark. For you to destroy this watermark, you need to destroy the whole of this work. Are we following? Any question? You are working along with me. You are trying to insert watermark. It's not giving you what you want. Please ask your question now. Are we together? Okay.
Yes, I got it. I got this. For where we can insert our watermark is through the design.
Okay.
And I think I got this watermark very well.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect. It's good to always practice along, because it will make you to remember it later. When you are done, please keep practicing. Keep practicing. It won't be nice that you learn here and go and sleep. You will not remember it again. So keep practicing. Okay. So
yes, thank you.
You're welcome. So again, let's continue the custom watermark. Now, I don't want to use picture again. I want to use another watermark called what? Text watermark. You can see the text watermark, like the one we had, confidential, and what again? Do not copy, right? So we have the language here is English United States, where I will write whatever I want to write is other word text. So I come here under the ASAP, I say what? Genob tech. Genob what? Sorry. Genob tech. That's the watermark I want to use. This document belongs to what? Genob tech. I can choose the font I want to use here. Maybe I want to use Calibri. I want to use Algerian. I love Algerian so well. So let me use Algerian. So I have Algerian like this. So under the size, it is also what? Set to auto by default. And the color, I say my favorite used to be purple those days. So let me use purple as my color, right? I leave the size as auto. Let's see how it works. And I apply. So you can now see what? Genob tech here. Remember, I've watched it out already. Let me unwatch it and you see. You see, it's very bold, right? I did not watch it this time around. You see how bold it is. So if I have a design, maybe somewhere that it will not make your work that sharp, because it will distract the person reading it. The first thing you are seeing at the point of contact, your eye will go to this general text always, but it's not what you are interested in reading. You can say it will become difficult for you to even read this document because why? It's too bold for us. What do? We come back to custom watermark and wash it out. We wash it out, probably set it to, instead of auto, we set it to any font we like. Let's leave it at 80 and apply. You can see. I think it makes sense this way. We can further reduce the font size. So with this, you can read it very clearly and nothing will happen. Like, it will not affect your eyes. Okay, let me further reduce the size to maybe say something 60 or 54 and apply. I love this. I think we can go with this Genoptech. Across all the pages, we have the Genoptech there. Okay, I think we are done with the watermark. What else do we do? If I don't want the watermark again, do not forget, I can remove the watermark here. Or I can come here, custom, I say, well, no watermark. But let me remove the watermark from here. Remove watermark. Another important thing we can do, or interesting thing, is to do what further design here is to color our page. So you can see our work being colored beautifully well. But this thing will not save like this. If I want to print it, see what will happen. The color will not show. Can you see? The color will not show. It will not print with the color. Okay. So I return back. This color is just here, ceremonial. If I want to put a color or add a color to this, what do? I will bring in a text under what illustration. I mean a shape, not a text. And I can draw a very big shape like this. Okay. Okay. Can draw a very big shape like this. So it is, what do? It has covered a right of right. If I want it to still show, what do? I send it behind. I right click here. Or you come here, since we are still on Word. See format here. What can I do? I can say send, bring to the Word. Oh, sorry, send to the back or send backward. I click on send backward. It will send it backward. Or I come here and say what send backward. It will go behind, but this will not work like, if I want this text to be like this, what do? I need to convert it to what? Text box. You know, this one will not go behind the text, right? So that's that. I return back to what we are doing, which is what? Page color. That's what page color does. I say no color. I remove the color. So let us check page borders. Page borders. My gen just off now. Okay, so this is page border. We have no border, box, shade, 3D, custom, and we also have lines here. There's a style. So I can choose what box, and let's apply it. And you see here, take note of this. It's saying what apply to what whole documents. If you click here, we'll have this section, first page only. Because we are trying to design a cover page, it will definitely be what first page, right? We'll use first page only, and let's see, we have the borders here. Do you get? But let's make this look like a cover page in real situation. So I remove this. I come back here, this section. So let me move this, the whole of this down. Okay, highlight all and return it back to column, a single column, one column, right? So I keep entering. So let's have a simple design, say introduction to MS Word, intro to MS Word by Genoptech, right? Introduction to MS or Word, right? Word by, sorry, Genoptech. April, comma 2025. So I have this, let's assume that I want to use this as my cover page. What do? I need to highlight this and make it very bold. I come here, home, I increase the font here, font size here. You can see it. So I have something like this. I centralize it, it will be at the center. I reduce the fonts a bit. So I have introduction entered one place, introduction to MS Word. Okay, let me leave it like this. Then zero the margin, reduce the margin. So I have an introduction to MS Word by Genoptech, by Genoptech. Okay, and I'll reduce the margin. I say no line spacing here. I put that 1.0, right? So I have it like this, intro to Word, MS Word. I can reduce this a bit. So I have something like this. I cannot take. If I want to use different fonts, I can also use, for instance, let me use agency here, this agency. So I can apply this to all here. So I have introduction to MS Word by Genoptech. So this is April. I copy the format. Don't forget what we said before. You can copy the format of this to this place. So I have something like this. This is a date, and I want this one to be at the right side. Sorry, this will be at the right side of the document here. So I bring it back here. Something like this, okay? Or I can even put it here, normal. Let's leave it here, okay? So now, what I want to do, I want to set the page border. I come back to design, from design, page borders. So now I don't want to use that border, these borders again. I can decide to use any of these like this. See how this one will work. One side is very bold, the other side is tiny. And if I must use that, see what I can do. I've clicked on it already. I can increase the size to something like this, under size or weight, right? I can increase the size. You can see it's very bold now. I can have it like this. So when I zoom out, this is how my cover page will look like. And it just won the first page that's applied to. Okay. So my work is just that I can bring it back like this. Okay. So see it. Version of MS Word. I can also use other borders here. We have these very ones here. You can see here is showing what custom border. Here is showing art border and it's showing none. So if I click down here, you have other beautiful borders I can use here. I love this star so well, and maybe love symbol because I'm not yet in love. I click on this and I can custom the width here, either reduce it or increase it here, right? And the color here, there's no color because I'm dealing with what? Art here. I can reduce it and I say like this. This is how it will look like. Very beautiful, right? So I have my page border set. I can use other borders. Use any one of your choice. Do not use my own when you are designing it. After this, I will give you a text. So you can see this is beautiful, right? It's beautiful. Are we together? But if I don't see what will happen, if I don't select this section and I say all, say this section all except the first page, no, let me use whole document. It will be applied to the entire document. But it's not what we want to do. You cannot design a document like that and send to somebody. You can only design the cover page and give to the person. So that's why we need to use what? Only first page. This section, first page only. And we have it here. Any question? Any question, any concern, any doubts?
This how to set the border is through the design, right?
Yes, go to design.
Okay, I've seen it. Page border. Okay,
Yes.
I've seen it.
All right. Okay, so I can decide to use something like this. Let me apply this. I still have this. Beautiful. You see, beautiful. Okay. Priska, do you have any question? Priska is not here. Do you have any question? Okay, let's not waste our time. We still have time, so let us explore the view. We are done with the design, page layout. Let us explore the word view. What can we do with the view tab? What can we do with the view tab? If you check here, just the way we have the, okay, I think you're not here. If you check here that day, I told you we have the read mode here, print layout, and the web layout. On that view, we still have the read mode, the page layout, and the web layout. If you click here, it will give you the web layout like this. You can see it looks as though it's on the internet, right? If I click on this, it will give me a read mode, just like it's a textbook. Instead of you scrolling down, you're now scrolling from left to the right, right to the left, and it will open like this, isn't it? Like I'm going back to what print layout. Normally, we use the print layout, right? See the ruler, and that day somebody was looking for the ruler. You didn't see the ruler. In case you are working, you cannot find the ruler. This is where you can come back and use your ruler. This is the grid line. We can set grid line to this award. You can see everything will be in boxes, right? I remove the grid line because I don't need it. I can also set a navigation pane. See our navigation pane here. What do I do with the navigation pane? We'll explore it later. I return back my ruler, remove the navigation pane. Okay. So this is zoom. Just the way we have zoom here, we can also zoom our work here. Zoom it to 100%, zoom it to 200%. And we say, okay, zoom it is 200%, right? I can zoom it, return it back to 100% or 75%, and 100%, which is the standard. One page, it's on one page. We can view multiple pages. You can see multiple pages will be open at the same time. We are seeing multiple pages, which is what this is page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, right? So what we can do, and we can reduce the page weight here or increase the page weight. Okay, let's return back to one page like this and 100% zoom. Okay, these are windows. How many windows are open here? If you check here, we have opened different windows. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm here. If I want to access another window, what do I do? This new window, arrange. I can split this into two. So let me arrange my windows. So you can see that I have all the 4 windows open here. Can you see? We have this one. If I want to work on this one, I can work on this one. If I want to work on the other one here, I can work on this one, which is what program distribution. And this one, the one we design our build our account number, and this is the template we open. So you see all the pages and our open. So if I come here, I can decide to do what? Maximize this. You can see, so I work with the current one. If I'm working, I want to access another page. If I don't want to come here, what do? I just stand here, arrange pages. Anyone I want to use, I pick on it, I pick it, and I use it. Once I pick it, what do? I increase it. Or I can work on in all of them at the same time. I come here, oh, I need to change phone number here. I need to change the one number here. I change the number to another team, right? I come here, instead of these two, I want to use two. In version to MS. But that's just it. So if I want to return back, what do? If I want to view anyone, like if I want to view it, access the tabs and ribbon, what do? I click here, it will return back. It will return back. Then here, I can split this document into two. I split it. You can see I have the same document up and down. This introduction, if I make any change here, it will also affect the other side. If I say something like this, you can see this one is also affected, right? This one is also affected. I can remove the split like this. I return back. Are we following? Are we following? This switch window, I want to switch from one window to another window. I can also switch the window here. I have document 2, document 3, practice, program. If I want to go to a program, I can click here. It will take me to program. It will take me to program, which is this program distribution. I want to switch back to the other window which is what practice, which is the third one. It will return back here. So that's what you can do here under view. Then review. What do we do here? In review, let's say I share this work with you online. You can decide to accept or reject the changes I have made. I can compare the old version and the new version of it. I say you can accept or reject changes. Here, I can make simple markup, show markup. This will be discussed in the next class, right? Here, I can check the spelling check. I mean, I can do what? I can check the spelling and grammar. If you check down here, we have this line or this highlighted, right? It's telling us that, okay, there's a problem here. So let us check the spelling or grammar to see what is wrong. It's telling us I was supposed to start with a capital letter since it's a word new line. I can choose to ignore it or accept it forms. Once I accept it, what happens? It will change it to what? Capital letter. Okay, I want to define this. I can define it here. It will show me to use this. You must be signed in using your Microsoft account. So I don't want to sign in. What do? I can use test zeros. Test zeros is like our synonyms. It will tell you all the synonyms of that word, right? I use my test zeros. So test zero will tell me what's another similar name to form or another name for form. It's just procedures, methods, systems, arrangement, formulae, formulas, customs, practices, and all of that. All these are words, synonyms of the word forms, right? So let me check Microsoft. If we have synonym of word Microsoft, so let's just check thesaurus for Microsoft. We couldn't find any similar words, right? Because Microsoft is just a name or something. It's a noun, right? It's a noun. So let's check this. You can see word. Another name is term, expression, name, chat, conversation, and all of that. So here we can check the word count of this current document. For us to check the word count, we click here. It will tell us how many pages are open. 8 pages are open. A total of 993 words have been typed. How many characters without spaces? You have 5,000. If you're writing an AC, sometimes they will tell you do not write more than 2,000 pages or do not write less than 2,000 pages. I mean, words, right? Or some they will tell you do not write more than 1,000 characters when you are filling a form. So if you feel, you can check it here using the word count. It will tell you how many characters you've typed without spaces and with spaces. With spaces, it will count all these spaces that you space between one word and the other. Count it and join. Total here was 6,510. While without spaces, it just was 5,586. How many paragraphs in total? Total of 125 paragraphs. Lines, 193 lines are open. Let me say are being used or are in use currently. So that's how we can check it. We can translate this from one language to another from here. Okay, I can also add a comment here. I can add a comment. Let's say this is introduction to MS Word. I can come here and say what new comment. I add a comment. When I come here, introduction to MS Word, I say this is where we practice. Let me say that's the comment I want to use. Practice what? MS Word. Okay, this is where we practice MS Word. And I leave there. So here the comment is being shown. I can decide to hide the comment. I hit the comment. When you see any document with this kind of envelope sign or something like this, information sign, it's telling you, okay, there's a comment here. This is a comment sign, right? There's a comment here. If I don't hover it, you'll not see where the comment is pointing to. But once I hover it like this, it will show it will point where the comment is. So you can now click on it and open it. It will show the comment, okay, this is where we practice MS Word. You now know that, okay, this comment is for this particular word. session, right? Introduction to MS Word. Do you have any question? If I want to delete the comment, what do? I delete comment. If I have more than one comment, if I want to add another comment here, what do? I can just stand here and enter. I can keep adding here. If I want to add another comment, say this one, I can still add another comment and I write anything I like there. So here there are 2 comments already. If I want to move to the previous comment, I move up. If I want to move to the next comment, it will show me the next comment, right? And if I want to delete comment, I can decide to delete my comments. I've deleted the comments. Any question? In the absence of no question, we'll call it a day.